Hello and welcome to this edition of Homeboys Extra. This is Jason. You've usually got me here with Mr. Larkin, Mr. Harper and Mr. Joe McKenna over in Ireland. But today I've got three different guests and three very special guests. This is my own personal podcast, My Bilbao Paradise I've called it. And I'm delighted to be joined on the line by one of the guys he's a regular contributor to Hail Hail Media, so he's nothing to do with the Bilbao philosophy. It's Mr. Liam Power, Brummy Boy. You there, Liam?
I'm there, mate, I'm there.
Okay, nice to have you on board.
Thank you.
And now for the main event, my two good friends. First of all, my good Scouse mate, Chilly John, and Chilly will come apparent maybe in a later on podcast. But this guy's a bit of a legend and he's got a big history with Athletic Club in Bilbao. Are you there, John?
Hello, Jason. Yeah, I'm here.
Good man. Delighted to have you on board. And now, my very good friend in the city of Bilbao is a 38-year-old lifelong follower of Athletic, and I hope I get this surname pronounced correctly. It's Joseba Gorigalzari. Are you there, Joseba?
Hello to everybody.
Hello.
It's a pleasure for me to say hello to everybody, Celtic fan.
Okay, but excellent, mate, excellent. And more will come of Joseba's visit to, well, he didn't go to Celtic Park, he went to the old Mordor to see the Old Firm Derby, and we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, so this is, normally we host the Homeboys show and we've got Celtic fans calling in, but this is a wee extra podcast for you guys. I've spoke about it quite a lot, about my love for Athletic Club in the Basque Country, and now gives us a chance to maybe share some of these stories with you guys and sort of try and explain why I get into Athletic Club and why this club is essentially more than a football club. So hopefully over the next hour or so we can try and explain it. So Liam's come on, and do you want to tell the guys, Liam, so me and you spoke about this before and you said you would love to come on this podcast. Just so if you give the guys a wee sort of introduction of why you wanted to come on the podcast and such.
Well, I guess just like most people, I've got an interest in Spanish football. Lots of people are fans of Barcelona, probably the obvious team, and I know that won't be universally popular on this particular podcast. But when you just look at the football in itself, and that's obvious. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody that doesn't like watching them play on the pitch. And obviously they've got a reputation that they try and maintain off the pitch as well. But obviously since I've spent some time with yourself and the occasional beer that we've had, you've told me more and more about Athletic Club, and it's just a great story that I'm really keen to find out much more about. So thanks very much for letting me on the podcast to kind of listen into what's going on.
Yep. So just the brief sort of history. Joseba will cover it in far more detail in a minute, but the brief history of Athletic Club. Athletic's one of the oldest clubs in La Liga, and they've also got a very special philosophy in football that they only play locally grown players. So to play with Athletic Club you must be born in the Basque Country essentially. And in modern football this is unheard of, and especially in what I regard as the hardest league in the world. Maybe John, because John's first love is Everton Football Club, so maybe he'll differ and think the English Premiership, and this is a Celtic podcast, so essentially we're saying that La Liga is the best league in the world. But Athletic Club survive, and not only survive, they flourish in this league, and they don't really sign any players. They maybe sign the odd player, but whatever player they sign, they have to pay inflated fees for them, because the selling club knows that Athletic have got no other option but to buy these players because they can't go anywhere else. So in Athletic's illustrious history, they've won La Liga 8 times. They've won La Copa, Copa del Rey. They've won it, I would say, 24 times. Some people say 23. But the first team was a sort of... It was before Athletic were formed, but it was actually Bilbao Football Club. And so Athletic reclaim that first La Copa title. Would you agree, Joseph? Would you say it's 24 times we've won La Copa?
Yes, we win 24 times. And it is very important for us to win any important cups, because there are only 3 teams in La Liga that all the time have been in the first division. Is Real Madrid, Barcelona and Athletic de Bilbao. There is no other team that have been playing all the years in La Liga. So to play is very important in La Liga, but to win for us is the best. And we have won 24 times and another 8 times La Liga. So
Yep.
I think that this is an important date. So 24 Copas and 8 Ligas.
Yep.
So,
And we've also been runner-up in the...
Sorry, Jason. The point is that in the last 20 years, Barcelona and Real Madrid are winning most of the titles, because they are 2 teams that they are very big. So it's nearly impossible for the other ones to win La Copa or to win La Liga.
Yeah, but in the past 5 years we have been in 2 La Copa finals, and even last year we're in the UEFA Cup final. So it is a magical story.
And we lost with Barcelona
both times.
That's what I mean. Yes. So
I know
it's quite difficult, but
we will keep trying.
Yeah, we will keep trying.
Yeah. So
this season.
Exactly, yeah, it's been a bad start to the season, but we'll get there in a minute. So I'll nip down to London, to Mr. John Sheeran. So my first ever trip to Bilbao, I was 16 years old, and I was was in the season where Athletic, we got to the final game of the season and Athletic had to win against Levante, and it was known as the Salvation Game, and me and my wife had booked to go to Bilbao, and we had no idea that Athletic would have to win this last game to stay in La Liga. So we'd booked it months in advance, thinking it would just be a final of season game, nothing much at stake, we'd get tickets for the game easy, and it transpired it was possibly one of the biggest games in Athletic's history when they played Levante, because the unthinkable could have happened and Athletic might have got relegated. So I'll tell a bit of that story later on, but a long story short, I contacted some of my friends in Liverpool, and they've got contacts all over the world, with obviously following football and Everton especially. So it was the hunt for tickets, and one of the names that got sent to me was a good Mr. John Sheeran. So on the phone to John, an hour long conversation, and John told us about his history with Athletic Club and gave me some invaluable advice that actually made my trip absolutely tremendous. So John, if you wouldn't mind sharing with the listeners your first love is Everton Football Club, so how the hell did you get obsessed by Athletic Club?
Before I go into that, just a quick one. I just want to pick up on something Liam said earlier about, Athletic and loving Spanish football, or football in Spain. I would compare Athletic de Bilbao with Berwick Rangers, in that Berwick are actually in another country but play in the Scottish League, yeah, and Athletic are in another country but play in the Spanish League. So I know we don't want to get too much into the politics, but that's basically it. It grates with the Basques to say that they're Spanish, because they're not. So I think you guys in Scotland will really appreciate that sort of clarification.
And Liam actually knows that. It's just a slip of the tongue on his part. You need to realise you're walking in eggshells with these guys, Liam.
Yeah, so Liam, don't do it again. Okay, just getting back to the question then, Jason. I went to work in Bilbao in 1952. Didn't have a job in England. Followed my good friend Norman Tebbett's advice. Got on my bike and went with my missus to Bilbao. Hadn't heard of the place. Hadn't heard of Euskadi. Never been to Spain in my life. And I arrived in August, and I thought, Christ, let's find out where's the local team. And I found a team, bought a season ticket, and it could have been any club, anywhere. And I went to watch them. And it took me I'd say about 2 or 3 months, and I was hooked. And a lot of Basques are really jealous, because I started watching them in August, September 1982. And for the next 3 years, while I was there, they won a league that year, they won a double the year after, they got to the cup final the year after that. And then I left, and it's just not been the same since. So, as I say, I knew nothing about them, and I just got captivated, not just by the stadium, the team, because they were successful, but the fans, the people. I mean, to try and convey just the good times you have watching Athletic, it's difficult, and I don't want to put down schmaltzy, but it's just a fabulous experience.
Yep, and you actually got the bug that much that you actually started following them in Europe and stuff like that. You were going to away games and everything.
I've never following them. I mean, I'm an Evertonian first and foremost, but whenever Athletic play in the UK, I go to every game, friendlies, whatever. And if I can get to Europe, I go to Europe as well. So yeah.
Exactly, and we shared a few beers in Madrid this summer for La Copa final, and for those that have never been, I've went twice to see Athletic in La Copa final, and the first time, that's when I first met Joseba, was in Valencia, and both La Copa finals were against Barcelona. And being a Celtic fan, and Celtic fans will resonate with this, that we went to Seville, and the estimate is that we'd like 100,000 fans in Seville, which I would tend to agree with, because I see 60,000 at Celtic Park most weeks, and there was more than 60,000 in Seville, I can tell you that. It was unbelievable. So that was our holy grail, getting to a European final. These La Copa finals in Valencia, I mean, thinking about Valencia is like a 2-hour drive from Barcelona. I reckon the Athletic fans outnumbered Barca about 3 or 4 to 1. You know, you're actually looking at, you say, about how many Athletic fans do you think were in Valencia? About 100,000?
Yes, I think that yes, more or less 100,000 people. Yeah.
And it gets to
It
the...
was impossible to get any hotel, any place to sleep. It was impossible because everything was reserved and for people from Athletic fans.
Yeah.
Athletic fans, yes.
And the thing that gets me is...
Sorry, Ashton, I remember that in Valencia, all the people who has a restaurant or a bar there, they are now Athletic de Bilbao supporters because they have never been so many people drinking and eating and taking so a nice day, and thousand people there and with no any problems, and they were very happy also in Valencia.
Oh, absolutely, and everybody started drinking calimochos. You see, everybody with shopping trolleys with red wine and Coca-Cola.
Red wine and Coca-Cola, yes.
Fantastic. So that's my love affair started at the Salvation game, and so me and John had a big long conversation, and he told me things to do when I was in the city. So he told me to get the train up to Algorta and walk across the Punta Gigante bridge, and then come down from Portugalete back into Bilbao. So me and my wife done this the day of the Salvation game, and when we were getting the train into Bilbao, just everything was red and white, everything, you could not move. And San Mamés is one of the most iconic stadiums in the world, and we're going to ask you some questions about that later on. And to me, the nickname of the stadium is La Cathedral, and there's nothing that's been named a stadium in a better way than San Mamés, because everyone in Bilbao worships at it. You know, so La Cathedral is the perfect name because everybody worships there. And Athletic Club is like a religion to everybody in Bilbao.
Yeah.
It is the most incredible thing. And La Posa is the street next to Athletics ground with all the bars. And for those in the UK who like a pint before the game, and the UK and Ireland and stuff like that, there is no better stadium in the world, because there must be, how many bars are in the close vicinity of San Mamés? There must be 100, 200?
Yeah, 300.
And the Basque people like a drink, I'll tell you that.
I think that Athletic de Bilbao is also, they are very representative for the people who are living here also. So, you know, they are, as you have explained minutes ago, they are players from here, from Bilbao, from Basque Country. So we think that they represent our country. So because of that, everyone here in Bilbao is supported for Athletic de Bilbao. It's very difficult to find people from Bilbao that supports any other team.
Yeah.
Instead of Athletic de Bilbao.
And
because it's a feeling.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, John, that was one of the things you explained to me before I went, that Bilbao is very, very similar to Glasgow, and very working class city. It was built on like the docking and things like that. And when you travel up,
shipbuilding.
Yep. And when you travel up the coast from Bilbao, it's like going from Glasgow down to the coast of the Clyde with the disused docks and things like that. And obviously, when a one strong industry, it's seeing different days at the minute, but it's a very industrial city and a very much a working class city. And the people, I think, are very similar to the people of Glasgow and of Liverpool.
Can I dive in a sec? Sorry,
Yep.
Liam. But do you know what it isn't? It isn't a hard city.
No.
The people are some of the gentlest and softest, to use a poor phrase perhaps. They've got no axe to grind with anyone, and Joseba mentioned about them representing, you know, their country. They're all ambassadors. So I've come across English fans, teams like Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool, Aston Villa, who visited Bilbao, and all these bars you talk about. There's no away fans not welcome. There's none of this nonsense. They feel so confident in their own city, and they're so welcoming that these people come and they can't believe how they're treated. The red carpet's rolled out for every away fan. You know, there's no edge to them. They're just so.
I think
Maybe they're too soft.
I think that's right in a certain extent, but I think if you go there and you were there with, like for instance, Anderlecht played there in Europe a few years past, and there was all sorts of trouble because of the fact that the Anderlecht fans went looking for trouble. You know,
yeah. Well, obviously they're welcoming, but they're not stupid.
Yeah.
We went to Fiorentina with Everton a few years ago, and we basically did our normal, which is go there, get beat, and drink. And the Italians, they thought, you know, the next day you get the papers, you know, the English came, drank, and had a good time. We got knocked out by Fiorentina, and Standard Liège, it was a Dutch team, Twente, I think, and wrecked the place. So, you know, there's no legislating for small European countries with a usual pacifistic outlook. These teams, they go and they want a rampage, and they'll get their comeuppance.
Yeah, no, big time. So sorry, Liam, what were you going to say, mate?
Yeah, just wanted to ask you, Saibo, there. It made the point that, you know, obviously everyone is a supporter of athletic club, and I just wondered, with, you know, the way modern football's progressing, you know, in a bad way, and the finances are dividing up the league, you know, worse in each season. And Madrid and Barcelona are getting bigger and bigger. Does that ever change? You know, the demographics change and more people, or some people would move into the area, but do the younger kids ever start to want to support any other teams, or is it instilled in everybody that athletics a team and it's sort of 99% of the area and the country all support athletic club?
Yeah. Yes. This week, Marcelo Bielsa has been speaking about last season, and he said one very nice thing. They when they lose in Barcelona, they go to a meeting with the players. Sorry, when we lost the cup final in Madrid with Barcelona, and he said, "Listen to me." They say, "You are an extension of the country. You know what I mean?" And the players were no any players speak anything about that. And Marcelo Bielsa repeat to the football players, Athletic they love, you are an extension of the country. You are a representative. Everybody are thinking about you, so that's the most important thing. And you lost. So then he continued speaking another 5 minutes, but I like it. It's an extension of you know what I mean?
Sure. So you wouldn't really see young children playing football in the streets wearing, you know, strips of any other team apart from Athletic Club?
Yeah.
Well, can I just
very difficult
say that?
Yeah.
Just to jump in, on the left bank of the Nervion, where all the old steelworks used to be, Alto Sonos, there was a big Galicia and Portuguese community. They came in as immigrants, and I've seen at San Mamés fans of Celta Vigo or Deportivo La Coruña who are from Bilbao. Their parents came from these outside areas, but what they do is they have a scarf which will have Celta or Deportivo, and the other half of the scarf will be the Coruña. It will be the Basque flag. So they still retain their traditional teams, but that's because that's what they are. They're not. But you will not see Real Madrid, and you won't see Barcelona.
Sure.
I've never seen it in all my time there.
Yeah.
And the thing I found interesting when we were over a couple of years ago, Joseba, for the Real Madrid game, for the away section, there were Real Madrid fans there, but they only had the Real Madrid shirt on. There was no Spanish flags, and there was no Ultras Sur. There was no form of Spanish nationalism, you know. And the Athletic fans were very allowing of the Real Madrid supporters, because the Real Madrid supporters were not there to cause trouble. They were just there to watch their football team, and the Athletic fans welcomed them and let them watch the football. But if the Real Madrid fans had came with Spanish flags and stuff, then there would have been trouble. But the Athletic fans are very, very welcoming. And for Celtic played there for the first time ever 2 seasons ago, and a lot of the Celtic fans who visited San Mamés said it was their best away trip ever. You know, and it was a friendly. And my brother was there, and obviously Joseph put the red carpet out and looked after the boys, as you always do.
Yeah.
And but
it was very nice. It was a friendly match, and the San Mamés stadium was full, so it was really nice. It was really nice because it's very difficult, as you know, for a friendly match to be full a stadium, and San Mamés was full, so it was really nice, and many people from Celtic also has come in. And it was a very nice day, yeah.
Okay. So that's the introduction. So now down to business, Joseba. So tell me, what's your earliest memory of Athletic Club? Now you're 38, born in Bilbao. So what's your earliest memory of Athletic Club?
I remember that we lose another UEFA Cup with Juventus de Turin.
Yeah.
In 1977. But the best one that I remember is, of course, with my father's and my father's friend, is to go to the river when we win the La Liga in the 18s, in the first 18s, because there were 1 million, more than 1 million people around the river, because it's very typical when Athletic de Bilbao win a cup. La Liga or the Spanish Cup
trophy.
Yep.
Yes, they always get ships and they go around they go on the river, just from Getxo to the town hall, and there are maybe 6 or 7 miles, no more, but it was full. More than 1 million people. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen the YouTube videos, and for anyone who wants to see it, go into YouTube and type in Athletic Club, and you scroll down through it.
You can think that we're 2 million people in Basque Country, and there were more than 1 million just in the river, only to say hello and thank you to Athletic. So think about that.
Yeah, it is the best. So
sorry, Jason, just to dive in. That was '83, and
yeah.
I was at it's the Gabara. It's the boat that.
Gabara is yes.
Yep. And I was off the next day. I was ill. I had a hangover. That's the only day's work that I've missed since I started working in 1982, and it was the following day after that. So I feel ashamed. But it was a good excuse, I suppose.
As you say, John, there's not many wise men lying in their deathbed saying, "I wish I'd spent more time in the office." You know. So, Joseba, who's your favourite Athletic player of all time, and tell me why?
For me, of course, he's Iribar.
Iribar.
He was the goalkeeper for Athletic de Bilbao for nearly 15 years. And he's from Basque Country, of course. He played many years, he played very well, and he also speaking in Basque when the Basque was forbidden, and he take the Ikurriña flag when the Ikurriña was forbidden also, and of course he was the best goalkeeper I have ever seen or watched. And nowadays he's an institution also in Athletic de Bilbao. He represents Athletic de Bilbao in any place that we are celebrating or we need somebody to represent Athletic de Bilbao. So for me, he represents all the I don't know how to say in English.
All the good things about Athletic Club.
Yes, all the good things. That's right. Yes, about the compromise, good player, and good man. So
yeah,
perfect.
And
I have a photo. Of course, I have a photo. I have 2 kids, little, and I have a photo with Iribar because for me it's the best one in my life.
Yeah, and if anybody who follows me on Twitter, that is the photograph that I have as my avatar, and it's when Jose Angel Iribar and the Real Sociedad captain Ignacio Cortabarria are carrying the Ikurriña flag onto the park, and that was after the death of the fascist dictator Franco, And for people who don't know what Joseph was talking about, the Basque language, Euskara, was banned. It was forbidden to speak the language.
That's
So
right.
so in the Basque country, you maybe find people about the age of 50 and 60 years old. Many of them do not speak the language because they were not allowed to speak it. But many people of Joseph's age and younger than Joseph all speak Euskara. And they're very proud of having their own language. And the fascist dictatorship, since after the Spanish Civil War, from 1939 to 1975, the language was banned.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
because of that nowadays, in all the schools, we only learn in Basque language in Euskara.
yep.
100%.
And you're very proud of that
Because
fact.
it's a cultural, it's a cultural, so we can lose those kind of things. So, and in River represents also that's the Curiña, the Euskera, because as you told Jason, it was forbidden. So we cannot forget those things. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And so people, that's a very strong. Sorry, John, on you go.
Sorry, Jason. I know at the start of the programme you played the hymno, the Basque.
Yep.
The athletic song.
Yep.
I was actually in Samares when that was introduced for the first time since the 1930s. And I don't speak Basque. And as long as I've got a hole in my head, I will never speak Basque. It's just so difficult.
That's Kerry Casco.
Yeah. But they played it that night. It was a night game.
Let me a couple of points.
But they played it in a night game about 1983. They introduced it, and the start. It's the athletic, and it's a male voice, and the hairs on the back of my head and all over my arms just stood up. And I went to the first game of the season this season against Betis, and they play it again. They play it every game, and the same thing happens. The hairs just stand up on your head. You don't know what they're saying, but it's absolutely incredible. As club songs go, I don't think there's one to beat it. Apart from Here We Go, Here We Go, Here We Go, from the team of 1984.
And for it's a grand old team to play for. So no, excellent, Joseph and Joseba, and that's brilliant. So now one of the main things, obviously, which stands Athletic out different from every other football club in the world. So the Cantera policy. So obviously this means that we only sign, or Athletic Club only sign players born in the Basque Country. So what's your views of this policy, and do you think it will change in the near future?
No, I don't think so. Absolutely, because we are more than 100 years, and Cantera is our sense, is the best important thing for us, because as I told you a few minutes ago, it's an extension. So we need people growing up here in La Cantera, because they understand what we are speaking about. When they go to play with Athletic in the first division, they should understand what it means. It's not only play football. They represent more than play only football. And the only possibility to understand this one is to grow up in our cantera. And if you ask here in Bilbao and in Basque Country about La Cantera, 98% of people think that we should keep this identity.
Yep.
So I'm sure that it will be like that for many years.
Okay.
Can I just jump in a sec, Jason?
Yep.
The word cantera actually means quarry. So the whole idea is that the athletic club go to the quarry and they take a piece of rock and they chip and they mould and they make it into a footballer. So that's the whole philosophy behind it. So that's it.
Perfect.
They go to the quarry and they dig it up and they make it into the gem that comes to play for them occasionally.
No, definitely. And the thing is, one of our Basque rivals, Real Sociedad, they also had this policy until recently, and they changed. And then when they changed, they nearly won La Liga. Remember, they took it to the last day of the season. But then the following year, I think, or the year after, they got relegated. So
Yeah.
and you, Joseph, you've got your views about them changing.
Yeah.
But
yes, that Real Sociedad is an example that they take players from other countries and they go to the second division. So
yeah, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. And one of the things,
and we know that it's different also. So for us, it's also we are very proud of this.
and I remember when I stood in
Sorry, Jason, because many times when you see a player playing with Athletic Bilbao, many times it's a player who you know his friend, or you are friend of his brother, or you know his father, or you know what I mean. It's very popular people here, so you can meet one of them drinking a beer just around your house because all of them are from here. So
yeah, exactly. And
that's an identification.
no, absolutely. And one of the things that stuck with me, and you said it to me, we were watching them against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And we were standing there and we were losing 2-0, and Real Madrid, they substituted Kaká for Ronaldo, and they come on and they had 2 penalties, and Athletic played well, but you could see the difference in class, and obviously you guys were not kidding yourself on. But you then said to me, we had this discussion about Cantera, and you said to me, well, every day when I come to this stadium, it's like winning a cup final, because you know the 11 players who play for your club support your club and would do everything for this club. So that is a feeling that winning trophies doesn't give you. That's a feeling that they players are representing you.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
No, I absolutely agree. And
yeah.
So, who's coughing there? Is that you okay, John? Need to be drinking water there, pal. So another thing, I think an iconic thing that Athletic Club do, and I posed it as one of the questions on one of the Celtic shows that we do, is for every football team, the first time they ever visit San Mamés, they must lay a bouquet of flowers to the Pichichi statue in the main stand.
Yeah.
And I think that is an amazing thing as well, and it's just a thing of legend that everyone must do. And Anthony Stokes was the Celtic captain that evening, and he had to go into the main stand and lay down the bouquet of flowers. So Pichichi is one of the iconic strikers of La Liga.
Yes, of course. And the football player who makes the most goals in all the season in Spanish La Liga, they call Pichichi also, so remembering Pichichi. The question is that I haven't watched matches from Pichichi because he was for many
years ago. Yeah, he was.
I am so young.
Yep. So tell me now. This is I have told you about your language. You can maybe say some English swear words here, but I don't know what you will say. But give me your opinion of the Spanish national team, because obviously they are one of the best football teams in the world, and some of the players from Athletic Club represent España. So what is your views, and are your views representative of the Athletic support? So what do you think of the Spanish national team?
Of course, the Spanish national team, they won the cup, the World Cup and the European Cup. So the only possibility for athletic player, is to play in Spanish or in French selection. There is nothing else, because remember that there is a part from Basque Country that is in Spain, but the other one is in France also. So there are players from Athletic that plays or French selection or Spanish selection.
Or Venezuela.
They want to play World Cup, so it's normal that they want to play and win. Of course, they are players, they are professional. The question is that here we don't really feel like as our country. So when they won, nobody here celebrates the Spanish victory because most of the people don't feel Spanish. There are many years that we are asking, or we want to get our selection, it's Basque country selection. We play once or twice per year with another national teams also, but we would like to play the World Cup or the European Cup, not only friendly matches. So it's very easy. We don't feel really Spanish selection here.
Okay.
Can I just... Sorry, John.
Sorry, Liam, go on.
I just going to ask: have any players previously declined to play for the Spanish national team from Athletic Club? Then has anybody declined a call up to the Spanish national team?
Yes, but the question, for example, Cortabarria was called from Spanish selection and he said thank you. No, sorry, not it was. There are players that has. The problem is that you cannot say no to the selection. If they call you to play in the selection, if you say no, they take out your possibility to play. Yes, so you cannot
you from playing.
Yes, you cannot say not. The only thing that you can do is to speak with the Spanish selection manager and say, please don't call me, because if they call you, you cannot say no. It's illegal to say no.
Sure.
Okay.
But there are players that, of course, that say no to the Spanish selection.
Okay. So, John, what were you going to say there, mate?
No, I was saying that there are sanctions. You're not allowed to do it. It's not like in the UK or either Scotland or England. But just going back to what Jose was saying before, I mean, the parallel between how the Basques look on the Spanish selection must be similar to the way the Scots look on the English. Every time the English go to play, all good thinking Scotsmen would want them to lose, and that's not with any real bitterness. It's just that's the way it goes. It's like whenever Liverpool go to play, I want them to lose. Brothers, family. I have 5 sisters who will live with you. My brother, but I want them to lose every single game they play. So I think the parallels are there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know, and as you say, it's like it's rivalry and such. But no, Joseph doesn't feel Spanish. He's Basque, so why should they want Spain to win? You know, just because somebody's.
Also, sorry, Jason. Also, where you call Prime Minister, we call Lendakari. We asked to the Spanish Parliament, please let us play official matches with Basque country selection.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a requirement of our society.
Yep, exactly.
But of course they say, of course not.
Yeah, so we play maybe.
I think FIFA probably got a lot to say about that, and UEFA. I think that's where the blocks are coming from.
Yep. So they play friendlies obviously against the Catalonia select, and they play Venezuela and things like that.
Catalonia, and also with Cameroon, and with Chile, and many. Yeah.
Well, one of the Basque players, Amorobieta.
Yeah.
Amorobieta
He
is
plays
an actual Venezuelan international.
Yeah.
Yes, with Venezuela, yeah.
Because he was born in the Basque country, and his mother and father are Basque, aren't they?
Yeah, he was born in Venezuela, so he played with the Spanish selection when he was young, but he decided to play with Venezuela instead of playing with Spain.
Yeah, but his mother and father are from the Basque country, aren't they?
Yes.
Yep. So
there are many people also from Basque country in South America and in America.
Yeah. Jason, just to go back to the Cantera thing, the youth players, etc. Athletic have been accused over the years, over decades, of being a racist club. They only played Basques, and that puts them in a racist mould. But that's so untrue, though, because the rule is you've got to be made footballistically in the Basque country. So you could be purple and he could play for the Athletic. And they do have black players in the squad. One guy called Ramallo. He was born in near Bilbao, and yeah, he could break through, and he's black. And there was a kid from Chad a couple of seasons ago. He was actually born in Chad. Yeah, arrived in Basque Country. He was 2. Went to Substar to learn his trade with Athletic, and he could have played as well. So I think we really need to knock on the head. They're not a racist club.
No,
a community club.
No, absolutely. And if you come through Lazima, well, that's the youth academy that the young lad from Chad did, and he had a big. The support were singing like his name and stuff like that at one of the games, because the Athletic fans are so far left wing, it's unbelievable, and they're absolute anti-racist. You'll see Palestinian flags and things like that in San Mamés with the ultras and stuff, but there's a big difference between pro and anti. So if you're racist, you're anti a certain group, but all the Athletic are pro the Basque Country. So everything, it's like Athletic are a national team, although they can't play in World Cups and stuff like that. Athletic represent the Basque Country.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, when we go back to Iribar, I remember watching an interview with him maybe last year. I think it was in Sky Sports, and he was talking about the Cantera policy, and they asked him, I think it was Graham Hunter that actually done the programme, the Scottish journalist, the guy we were talking about, Joseba, and they asked Iribar, and he says, do you think maybe things should change? And he says, no, absolutely not. He says, clubs in the world need to copy our model. He says, our model is the future of football.
Yeah.
He says, money is ruining football. He says, you look at our model. I mean, without a doubt. But actually, the interesting thing from Graham Hunter, he visited Bilbao, and he had in his mind, living in Barcelona, that he says Athletic need to change this Cantera policy to evolve and to start winning trophies again. And he went to Bilbao with this view, and when he left Bilbao, his parting shot at the end of his interview was, I came here with a distinct viewpoint that Athletic should change their policy, and I'm leaving with an absolute 100% certainty that it should keep it the way it is.
Yeah.
Because he says this city is just, it eats, sleeps and breathes Athletic Club, which is absolutely fantastic. So we spoke about some of the players and stuff like that. One thing I remember, Joseba, was your namesake Joseba Extraberria, and he retired a few years ago, and I thought one of the most amazing things he done was his final contract with Athletic. He signed it and he didn't want paying, he only wanted expenses. So he played his final year for no wages, and when he played his testimonial, he played against 4 Athletic youth teams on the park at the same time, and there was 30-odd thousand fans there seeing the Athletic home team against all the kids. And I just think that speaks volumes. That's just someone that represents the club with pride.
Yes, because he gets also an offers from Real Madrid and from Italian teams also when he was playing, and he said no, I want to play in Athletic de Bilbao for all my life. So wow.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to explain, to represent really what I mean.
Yes.
He say no to Roma, he say no to Inter, he say no to Real Madrid. So because I feel Athletic de Bilbao is the best team in the world, so I want to play here, and I will be here for all my life.
Yeah.
That's right. And the last, as you has explained very well, Jason, that the last season he played free. He said, please, I want to play free because you have given so much to me, so I want to give you only 1 year free, nothing else.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
It's something symbology, yes, not money, it's symbology.
Yep. And one I'll bring this up. This is an interesting thing that me and you had this conversation in Manchester last year before the game against Manchester United. So I found this a bit crazy, but I understand perfectly what you meant. And so Liam, this is very interesting. That I spoke to Joseba and I was talking about Llorente. And Llorente, I think he's one of the best strikers in Europe, and Joseba doesn't like him, and he never liked him. And I was saying to him, so Llorente, he'll score against Man United, and Joseba said to me, I would rather have Taquero play. And I'm saying, no, Takero, like, okay, he's got it in his heart, but nah, Llorente's a better player. So, Joseba, you explain to everybody why you would rather have Takero play for Athletic than Llorente.
Okay, Llorente is a player who has grown up in Bilbao for 17 years, and when he's in the football stadium, and I don't know very good to explain in my poor English, sorry, but Tokero, when he go to the stadium, is running, keeping everything, shooting, and he's very proud of Athletic de Bilbao. And Llorente is like, it's always like, it's, I don't know how to say, sorry.
He thinks he's a film star.
Yeah, he thinks like he's a Hollywood star.
To be broken,
Yeah. So it's that sort of spoke volumes to me, that it's more important for you to love the club and give everything for the club than to be the best player possible.
Yes, he scored 29 goals last season, but we think that Aritz Aduriz this season will be better than Llorente last year. So, when he's playing, he's running all the time, shouting. It's very nice. But Llorente is like, be careful, he's going to be broken.
I think that's the same with most clubs. Though,
he's so nice. He's so nice. He's so pretty. So.
but we all want to see players leave their skin on the pitch.
So many T-shirts from Adidas or Nike or something like that. He's very nice.
Yep, John. Sorry, mate. On you go.
No, just saying, we all want players like Tokero. We all love the guy who gives 100%, leaves his skin on the pitch, etc. I know that's what we're like at Everton. He may not be the most skillful player in the world, but as long as he gives us everything, if he hasn't got anything more, we can't ask for any more. And Tony Hicks, just as an example, the guy is so limited, but the fans adore him.
Yeah, I know, and he scored his first goal ever this season.
The testimonial, yeah.
I know, brilliant. So this season, Joseba, we'll go last season. So obviously last season was a fantastic year in many respects for Athletic Club. We had a new manager, Marcelo Bielsa. He came in and he changed sort of the philosophy of Athletic. For me, were always a very tough team to beat. But Bielsa started playing three forwards and attacking. So it was very good to watch. And I was lucky to be in Old Trafford the night we beat Manchester United, and it was a fantastic performance. And we went. Athletic Club went all the way to UEFA Cup final, which yourself and John, you were in Bucharest.
Yeah.
And it's so. What did you think from Kaparos? From Kaparos to Bielsa, did you think it was a positive move, or were you sad to see Kaparos leaving?
Yes, I think that it was very good to change, because Kaparos is not a very nice football. I prefer Bielsa, and it was very nice, as you have said, to what we see in Manchester. That's the best example for the last season, Athletic season. Yes, Manchester was the best match, and he's also very proud here in Bilbao, and he's always saying that the Athletic de Bilbao is special also. So I think that Marcelo Bielsa has understand perfectly what means Athletic here.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, all of your all-time favourite managers, would it be Javier Clemente?
It's very polemic. You like or
I would say he would be my favourite all-time Athletic manager. I don't know about you.
Okay, we won La Liga, so
yeah,
that's enough.
he's been the manager 3 times too, hasn't he? He's came back twice.
Yeah, twice, but it was different moment. So
yeah, okay. I know. So we've spoke obviously everything about athletics. So essentially, this is a Celtic show, so it'll be mostly Celtic fans listening. So would you like to tell everybody, Joseba, your experience when you came to the now defunct Old Firm game?
Yeah.
And I'll set the scene for everybody. So we had met Joseba in Valencia, and we'd met many Athletic fans and shared some beers. And I got an email a few months later. Hi Jason, it is Joseba. We are coming to Glasgow for the Old Firm match. Can you advise where I can buy tickets? So for the uneducated, obviously everybody listening to this podcast about Celtic fans, so they'll know the score. But you cannot really buy tickets. You have to be a season ticket holder. So I looked at the fixture list, and the date he's told me, we're playing away. We're playing at bloody Ibrox. And I was like, oh man, come on. So I says, this is going to be very difficult.
We are supported for Celtic also here in Bilbao. And me and my friend love Celtic. We love Celtic. We always, when we can, we go to the television to watch the Celtic matches, as 2 weeks ago in Champions League also we were to drink some beers to watch Celtic, because we support Celtic. So we know about the whole thing, and we want to go to to Rangers Stadium, yes, because we want to feel a Celtic passion, yeah, and we know that in Rangers football stadium it was better. And you help us to go to the stadium, and okay, we remember this day many times during the year, because it was really great for us to see Celtic fans, to speak with them, change Icurriñas, change the Athletic and Celtic shirts, and to speak about our philosophy and your life and everything. So it was an amazing day. We drink many beers also.
we drink many beers, and one of your.
We have never feel like in Glasgow this day. We have been in another places with Athletic also, not with friends like you, Jason. Thank you, but we have never feel like this day. So many people speaking about Athletic, many people knows about Athletic, and we know also the history about Celtic, and because you won the European Champions League Cup, so
yeah,
we are jealous about that. But it was amazing day.
Yeah,
and we should repeat.
Yeah, no, definitely. We cannot repeat the Old Firm game because they are no longer. But we
know also.
You are more than welcome anytime.
We have many jokes about that.
Yeah, you are more than welcome anytime to Celtic Park. And another story that John helped arrange was when you were in Manchester for the Manchester United game, you headed for Liverpool on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And you went to see Everton play Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham, yeah.
And John arranged for you to meet an ex-manager of Athletic Club.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Howard Kendall.
Yeah, and I've got all the photos of you guys in the
yes.
inside Goodison with
one of the best managers here in Bilbao also, because he understands our philosophy also, and he was really proud in Bilbao, and he always said that Bilbao was special, and he was very funny here, and he enjoyed so much, and we keep a really good memory about Howard Kendall's.
Yeah.
And it's a popular drink also in Bilbao, and we call Kendall. It's 18 with orange juice.
So to let everybody know as well, in the city of Bilbao, when me and my friends, we arranged a trip, and we'll get one next year with obviously John, and Liam's more than welcome. Joseph sorts everything for us, and he also invites us to a very special place that it is alien to people in the UK and Ireland. But you and your friends, you and Gorka's a good friend from Guernica, and your friends, you own a Choco, and it is spelled TXOKO. And this is a. Would you like to explain to all the listeners what a choco is?
It's a choco is a place where we go to eat, we cook. It's only a place for men, no kids or childs, and no women's on there. And it's for a long time. My father and my grandfather and all my family has got always a choco. It's a place where we meet to speak about usually football and political things. And of course it's closed, so nobody can go there if you are not invited or if you are not the owner of the choco. So it's only for friends.
Yeah.
And of course we enjoy there the football so much.
Yeah.
And there are many pitchers from Athletic de Bilbao, and we have invited also Athletic de Bilbao managers or players also there to eat sometimes, because it's like our little corner. Yeah.
It is amazing.
So someone from outside, like you come here, we are really proud to come to our choco and to show you, because we cook there and we eat there and we drink there also.
It is, and
it's better to go than explain it.
It is amazing, and it was one of the best
taste than to explain here.
It is amazing, and for anyone who is going to visit Bilbao, I would say when you go to Casco Vello, the old town, and you go to eat the
pinchos.
When you go to eat the pinchos, so in Spain it will be tapas, but in the Basque Country it is pinchos.
It's pinchos.
And these delicacies are unbelievable. Every place you go into has got a better one than the place before. It is so good, and the food and the drink in Bilbao is just so special. It is an amazing place, and for anyone who wants a football experience, this could potentially. Well, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. So this is going to potentially be the final year of San Mamés, when Athletic are going to move to the new purpose-built stadium that is built on the same site. Well, it's built on basically the next to San Mamés, and it's going to be called San Mamés Barrio.
Yeah, Barria. Yeah,
Barria.
It's the new San Mamés.
Yeah, so
it's in Euskera. It's in Basque language. Is the new San Mamés is the name.
So you and Gorka and all your friends and Artis, your brother, what do you think about leaving San Mamés?
We will be crying.
Yeah.
The last match, yes. We love so much, and it's very special. The San Mamés Stadium, the cathedral, as we call San Mamés. But we know that nowadays it's 40,000 people going to San Mamés, and there are many people who want to come to the stadium also, so we need a bigger one. That's also a reality. You cannot say that there is no possibility to go to the football stadium to 20 or 30,000 people all the weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need a bigger one. So
it is.
So we need the new stadium, but we know that San Mamés is very special. So. It's very complicated to change.
Yeah,
we understand that we need to be bigger.
And it is the one stadium that reminds me of San Mamés is Goodison Park. Don't know what you think of that, John.
It is very similar. We're so close to the pitch.
Yes.
And both stadiums have fallen down. So yeah, the similarities go on and on. I love San Mamés, but obviously they've known they've been leaving for some time, and it is looking very, very tired.
Yeah.
Goodison's, it needs an artificial respirator, I think, but it's home.
I know. So we definitely need to get a trip before the old lady closes its door for the final time. So we'll get a trip organised for the early next year for this season, without a doubt. So Liam, you had a couple of questions.
Just
give me a wee sec.
Sabo, see when Athletic Club travel and play against Spanish teams, we talked before, not on this podcast, but about the fact that Spanish clubs, apart from Athletic Club, don't really seem to take large numbers of travelling fans. The two questions really: one, why is that? Is it a distance and a travel logistics issue? And that's one of the questions. And secondly, do Athletic Club ever get any problems, any trouble when they go to away games, against the Spanish teams?
In some places we have some troubles. For example, with Atletico de Madrid, you cannot say that you are Athletic fan there in Atletico Madrid. I have been there twice, and you cannot say anything because you will get problems if you say anything.
Sure.
8 years ago, one supporter from Real Sociedad, from San Sebastian in Basque Country, they killed also. So also in Sevilla sometimes, depending in Betis also, I remember that I was in the stadium, and some supporter of Betis told me something. So there are 3 or 4 places in Spain that is better not to go there.
And how many supporters would Athletic Club have? How many?
The worst is Atletico Madrid, of course. Vicente Calderón is the worst place.
Right. And how many fans would you take to that game?
All the time saying that, remembering Franco and Spanish, and
sure.
it's very problematic.
And I think the ironic thing there is, Joseba, is Atletico Madrid were formed by 2 Athletic Bilbao supporters.
Yes, of course, yes.
Yeah,
the
I know.
people who was studying, they wanted the people from Basque Country who wanted to study to an aeroplane. I don't know how to say. The name was Atlético Aviación. Was the people from Bilbao who go to Madrid to learn to fly by aeroplane. I don't know how to call that in English. Piloto de avión.
Yep.
John.
Yep. John's he's fell off the call. I'm trying to add him. Give me a second. Try to get him back on now. Just where we needed some translation, and John's fell off the call.
John, how do you say a person who is learning to fly aeroplane? Piloto de avión?
An airline pilot.
Airline pilot.
Airline pilot, thank you, yes.
Yeah. I could...
And because of that, the Atletico Madrid was made by people from Bilbao, yes.
Okay.
Who was studying to be a pilot, an airplane pilot. But it was 1 century ago. And then 30 or 40 years ago, they come like a football match from Franco, and nowadays we don't feel really good in this stadium.
No. So I think the question Liam was asking Joseba is, how many fans would Athletic take to most away La Liga games, depending, say for instance, not including the Basque Country, say for instance Zaragoza. Yeah. How many fans would Athletic take to Zaragoza?
Usually for Zaragoza, I was there last year, we were 2,000 people more or less.
2,000, okay.
And in Santander also in Santander there are more than 5,000 people.
5,000, yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember also in Manchester last year, it was 80 or 90,000 people also.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Because
for Andalusia, in Sevilla, for example, is so far from Bilbao. There are 500 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a long way to Sevilla. But when I used to follow Athletic, I had 3 seasons. Anything down to Madrid, you got thousands. I remember being in Real Madrid with 20,000 Bilbao fans. 20,000 just dotted around the stadium, no segregation.
Yeah,
fabulous.
Because Liam, to put it into perspective, in Madrid last season at La Copa final, it was in Vicente Calderón, so the stadium was split. It was like 25,000 Barca and 25,000 Athletic.
Yeah.
Once the game started, every Barcelona fan in Madrid was in the stadium. There was about 50 or 60,000 Athletic fans at the fan zone outside it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And it's when Barcelona, when they play away to Valencia, is like a 2-hour drive. They take like one bus.
Sure. Yeah, it's totally different, isn't it?
You know, and if Athletic play like Real Sociedad, how many would Athletic fans would go there, Joseba?
Last week.
So how many Athletic fans?
More than 10,000.
More than 10,000.
But most of them get outside from the stadium because it was impossible to get tickets.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be the same in Osasuna.
It's a very nice day. We usually go to the old town when we play with Real Sociedad. We stay drinking and shouting and enjoying the day for all the day, and it's very nice. Real Sociedad and Athletic de Bilbao matches.
Okay, so this season we're sitting 2 points above the relegation zone. So, and our European form has been terrible, to be honest with you. I think we've got 1 point.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? What is the aspirations for this season? Do we think we can qualify out of the UEFA Cup?
Of course. I remember also last year we started very bad, and then we finished very good. So I think that this year should be okay also. We will finish in the first 7 position. I think we will finish in European position, and I also think that in La Copa we will get the final also. I feel very difficult to get the final in UEFA Cup, to be honest, but in the Copa, yeah, we will be in the final also.
Perfect. So in your in my experience with Athletic, I'd say my favourite game watching, I wasn't at the game, but my favourite game was the semi-final of La Copa against Sevilla in San Mamés when Athletic won 3-0. The atmosphere that night was incredible.
Yeah. My friend Gorka was crying also this day.
And Gorka is a great man. And
he's like a children.
Yeah, and myself and John, we bumped into
Gorka, and Gorka was crying, but it was the atmosphere, so it was so nice. So yeah, amazing also.
And the night before La Copa final in Madrid, myself and John, we met Gorka. Remember, John?
Yeah, I'd met Gorka in Bucharest.
You met him in Bucharest at the final. That's correct. Oh, he's a good man. He came to the Celtic Rangers game too. He's a good man. So Liam, have you got any more questions that you'd like to ask Joseba?
Yeah, just one more quick question, if that's okay.
Yep.
You say, but obviously, one of the worst things about modern football is that money is ruining the game, across the globe, and the Champions League is just a way of, making the bigger teams bigger and creating a bigger gap. We're seeing this across a lot of domestic leagues as well. And in Spain, the way that the TV deal is different to most other countries, that the individual clubs can negotiate their own deals. What we're seeing is, since Athletic won the league, I think it was in '84, the last time they won the league. Yeah. There's only been 3 teams other than the big 2 that have won the league. Atletico Madrid won it and did Deportivo and Valencia. How do you feel about this as an Athletic fan, that the gap's getting bigger and bigger, and is there any plans in place to actually change the structure of the TV deal and try and make it a bit more competitive and bring it a bit closer again?
Yeah, I think that in the last 3 or 4 years also it's only Real Madrid and Barcelona, and in the next 4 or 5 years will be Real Madrid and Barcelona also. It's impossible also for Valencia or Atletico Madrid. It's only Real Madrid and Barcelona, and it will be like that for another 5 or 6 years. I don't know, but I don't know how will be in next 10 years. You know what I mean? That everything is changing. So also Spain was very good with money. All the teams get players from all over the world, and as you can see nowadays, Spanish teams are losing money and are losing their possession. So I think that it's a good time for Athletic to grow up. The only problem is Barcelona and Real Madrid. Yeah. And I think that what happened 10 years ago, I'm not sure, but I think that we will keep on the top also.
Good.
But nowadays is Real Madrid and Barcelona is playing another, it's so different. It's very nice also. When I watch also Barcelona the other day, they play really good football. So
yeah. I think it's well. Just Ronaldo and Messi are just exceptional talents.
Yeah.
It's a special time in world football with those two players playing.
Yes, but nowadays it's nearly impossible to win anything with them.
Sure. Can I just ask one quick question, Jason? Sorry, before we finish.
Carry on, mate.
Just for the listeners, is there anything you can tell us about the signing we made this season? Signing Miku.
Celtic signed Miku from Deportivo La Coruña.
Yeah.
And do you know anything about this guy, Joseba?
Yes, that he Levante was saying that they get the player.
Yeah. That's the one.
And then Levante president said, "No, he's our player."
Yeah.
He's playing Celtic, so.
Is he a good player?
See, yes.
See?
I think that he will be a good result in Celtic. I'm sure.
Okay.
He's a very good worker,
Yep.
Yeah.
And the future of Athletic Club at the minute. I know you're a big fan of Ayaduriz.
Yeah.
And Munyain, Ekar Munyain.
Yes.
So who is?
I was speaking about. I think that there are many players in Athletic de Bilbao nowadays that they play really good. They are in the top of La Liga and they are in the top of Europe. I think that Muniain and De Marcos also.
Yeah.
And Nari Chaduriz and Amorebieta and San Jose and Equiz and Iraola. I think that we have a really good players nowadays. And they are playing also in Europe, and so I think that and they are very young also. So they have 20 years, 23 years old. So I think that 5 or 6 years, they will be much better. So.
And you have a fantastic manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a crazy horse, but he's amazing.
Yeah, he's a crazy one.
He's just so principled as well. There's no edge to him.
Nah, he's obviously with your. We don't want to give up the ghost at the minute and give your name Chili John away, but that'll be for a future episode, mate. That you would know a lot about Marcelo Bielsa.
Yeah.
So, guys, if any's got anything more to add before we finish.
No, I only want to say hello to all the Celtic fans, to say hello to you also, and sorry for my poor English.
Oh, your English is better than mine.
But I only want to say thank you, and I would like to see you in Glasgow this season also.
Yeah, absolutely, and I will get a big night on for you like you done for us in Bilbao, and we will definitely be returning the favour and be visiting Bilbao this season as well, comrade.
And I also tell you, Jason, that we will see a match in Champions League between Athletic and Celtic.
Oh,
I always tell you.
It would be perfect.
Not next season, maybe 2 or 3 years, but we will see together, Jason.
One special mention I'll put out in this podcast is it's a guy I always meet when I go and watch Athletic. I meet him with his grandson, and he's from Glasgow, and his name's Rab McAllister, and he's got a grandson, Eamon, and Rab's mum was a refugee from Guernica after the bombing during the Spanish Civil War, and she ended up in Glasgow as a young kid with nothing. And she grew up and met Rab's dad and married, and he's kept his Basque roots very strong, and he brings his grandson over to see Athletic regular, and I've met them at both La Copa finals, and I met both of them in Manchester as well. And a wee shout out for Rab, and I'll see him at the International Brigade commemoration in the Clydeside at La Passionara this year, so this one's for you, Rab, mate. But and it's just this. I just want to say thanks, Joseba, for sharing this, and thanks to you, John, as well, for obviously giving us your viewpoint as well. But it's just thanks for sharing about such a special. It's I don't even call it a football club. It's just a modern day phenomenon, and it's just it's a movement, and they represent a country, for want of a better word. But I just love reading and hearing about Athletic Club, and I would urge any fan of football to just get your arse over to Bilbao and experience it for yourself. And if you're in Bilbao, give Joseph a shout and You'll get 1,000 Celtic fans now looking for you, Joseph. But if you're in Bilbao, when you go to San Mamés, wear a Celtic top, because you'll be more than welcome.
Okay.
And I just like to say thanks very much, John. Thanks, Liam, for tuning in, and a scary casco to Joseph.
Scary casco. Thank you very much.
And we'll play out.
Guys.
We'll play out with the Athletic Club anthem. Okay, if you guys just stay on a wee second, okay? I'll just put the song on just now, okay? Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Hail, hail.
Okay, bye.
Athletic!